Hello and welcome to the latest beef market update from AHDB Market Intelligence. In this episode, we'll be looking ahead into the UK beef market for the rest of 2020 and exploring how the AHDB is forecasting production, trade and consumption to perform as we emerge from COVID-19. Coming into 2020, cattle supplies were forecast to be tighter on the year due to previous contraction in the dairy and suckler breeding herds and the poor calving season in 2018. BCMS data in April confirmed this to be the case, with the number of prime cattle on the ground in Great Britain down by around 5% on the year. Looking ahead to the rest of the year, cattle supplies are expected to remain below last year's levels. A tighter supply of cattle, coupled with lower domestic demand for beef due to disruption by COVID-19, is expected to contribute to lower cattle slaughter and beef production in 2020 overall. Carcass weights are also expected to be slightly lighter overall compared to 2019, as diets are expected to be more forage-based than in previous years. Cattle throughputs were running above 2019 levels until Q2, which is around the time prices took a hit as the country entered lockdown. Throughputs did pick up in June, potentially as stronger prices tempted numbers forwards, but this wasn't enough to offset lower slaughter in April and May for the quarter as a whole. Thinking about supplies further ahead, the dairy and suckler breeding herds are expected to continue shrinking in 2020. This follows a long-term downward trend in cow numbers, but economic uncertainty around Brexit and COVID-19 is unlikely to spur any herd expansion. Looking at domestic consumption of beef, it will come as little surprise that total demand is forecast to take a knock this year. Before COVID-19 hit the UK, domestic beef consumption was generally steady. However, the closure of restaurants and fast food outlets during lockdown has taken a considerable chunk out of domestic demand. Using our baseline scenario, food service demand is expected to recover somewhat over the next 6 months, but probably not to the levels seen pre-coronavirus. Demand is expected to return to more normal levels in 2021. However, this will be influenced by how the long-term economic and social damage of COVID-19 affects consumer spending going forwards. With beef production and consumption both forecast to be lower in 2020, trade is expected to contract slightly for the year overall to balance the market. Having had a strong start to the year, beef exports fell away in April and May due to coronavirus, undoing much of the growth in the first quarter. Imports have continued to run below last year, due in part to constrained Irish output, and then COVID-19 disruption. Irish throughput is coming back quite strongly now though, as food service demand on the continent and in the UK begins to re-emerge. How this continues will be important to watch in terms of UK imports and domestic farm gate prices. To find out more about our beef market forecast, head to our dedicated webpage at ahdb.org.uk/agrimarketoutlook, where you'll also find short-term and longer-term outlooks for the other farming sectors. As always, you can keep up to date with developments in the UK beef market by checking out our analysis pages at ahdb.org.uk/beef, or you can sign up to our Cattle and Sheep weekly newsletter to get updates directly to your inbox. You can also send in any questions to the team at redmeat.mi@ahdb.org.uk, or simply leave a comment on this video. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel to see the latest beef and lamb market content.